All right, let's get right into it because there's something really strange happening in the heart of Silicon Valley. You see, the very same people who are building our AI-driven future, the architects of algorithms, the creators of these super addictive platforms, they're raising their own kids in this surprisingly low-tech, almost analog world. It just makes you stop and think, right?
It's the big question here. What do they see coming that the rest of us don't? What makes them so keen on shielding their own kids from the exact technologies they're building for everyone else? So in this explainer, we're going to try and unpack that mystery. And we'll use their own words and their own parenting choices to figure it out.
And just look at this contrast. It is absolutely wild. For us, for the public, they're building these incredibly advanced interactive platforms and AI tutors. But for their own children, many of them choose schools like the Waldorf School, which is famous for having basically no screens. We're talking about chalk on blackboards, learning to knit, and kids figuring out fractions by literally cutting up fruit. It's a completely different idea of what childhood should be. So what is going on here?
Well, to really get a handle on their parenting choices, you first have to understand the future that they see coming. And let me tell you, it's a future that looks almost nothing like the world we live in today. So let's start with Elon Musk. He doesn't just see AI as some small change. He calls it a supersonic tsunami. He genuinely believes we're heading for an age of such incredible abundance, thanks to AI and robotics, that the whole concept of working to earn a living will just disappear. It'll be a choice, something you do as a hobby, not because you have to.
And here's where it gets really personal for him. Musk has said point blank that even his own kids, who are super tech savvy, agree with him. They know that any specific technical skill they could master right now will probably be completely obsolete in 20 years because an AI will do it better. So why are they even planning to go to college? It's not for job training, it's to learn how to socialize and how to think broadly across different subjects. And he's not alone. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, basically says the same thing. He doesn't see this as some sad dystopian future, but just as a fact of life for the next generation. They're going to grow up in a world where AI being smarter than them is just normal. And that's the key, right? If you know you can't outthink the machines, you have to focus on something else entirely. And this isn't just about software or what happens on a screen. Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, kind of lays out the roadmap. We've already gone through AI that can see and AI that can create, but the next big steps are reasoning AI and then physical AI. We're talking about machines that actually understand real-world physics, like gravity and friction. That means a massive revolution in robotics is just around the corner, and that changes everything. Okay, so if that's the future they're all bracing for, how in the world are they parenting to prepare their kids for it? Let's dig into the specifics and see how it all connects. When you look at their actual parenting strategies, you see this really clear pattern. Jeff Bezos was all about building resilience, letting his kids use sharp knives and power tools when they were super young. Bill Gates is planning to leave his kids just a tiny sliver of his fortune to force them to go out and find their own way. Mark Zuckerberg makes sure his kids have chores and responsibilities. And Google's CEO, Sundar Pichai, is focused on teaching his kids to manage their own screen time rather than just banning it outright. The common thread in all of this? Real-world skills and building strong character.
Now, to be fair, none of this means they're completely anti-technology. They're not. But they draw this incredibly sharp line between being a passive consumer, just mindlessly scrolling, and being an active creator. So yeah, they might limit screen time at home, but they'll absolutely sign their kids up for makerspaces, places where technology is just a tool you use to build things, to experiment, and to solve actual physical problems.
And this is where their private family choices start to hint at a huge, and maybe even a little disturbing trend for the future of education for the rest of us. It really looks like two different educational paths are forming. For their own kids, the wealthy are choosing a human-first model. We're talking small classes, real teachers, lots of discussion, and even time to be bored and make mistakes. But for the masses, the big push is towards a super scalable, low-cost, machine-driven model. AI tutors, learning platforms, and individualized lessons delivered on a screen. One path is about humanity, the other is all about efficiency. I mean, this question from the Inter-American Development Bank just hits you right in the gut. Teachers and books for the rich, robots and screens for the poor? It's a really chilling thought. As technology makes education cheaper, are we creating a world where a truly human-led education becomes a luxury good? Automation for most, and humanity for a select few? And this brings us right back to the solution to our mystery. If these tech leaders aren't drilling their kids on coding and STEM, what on earth are they focused on? Well, it's simple. They're teaching them the skills that AI can't touch. You have to see this number. It's incredible. An internal study at Google was trying to figure out what made their best employees so great. And what they found was that out of the top 8 most important qualities, 7 were soft skills. You know what came in dead last and number 8? Their actual STEM expertise. I mean, you can't make this up. So here's the point. As AI gets better and better at doing the technical stuff, the value of being human shifts. These tech leaders and organizations like the World Economic Forum are betting the farm on skills like critical thinking, creativity, teamwork, communication, and empathy. This is the stuff that gives us a real advantage. This quote we found from a tech exec parent really just nails it. The new premium is on social intelligence, right? On being a good collaborator and being able to work through messy, complicated problems with other people. Those are the skills they believe are going to matter most. So the big takeaway here is this. Their parenting style isn't really a protest against technology. It's a strategic bet on humanity. It's a forecast, and it's telling all of us what they think will be rare, and therefore incredibly valuable in the AI-powered future they're creating for us. And that really leaves us with one final huge question to chew on. In a world where machines can do almost anything, what skills will actually define what it means to be human? And maybe more importantly, how do we make sure that everyone, not just the kids in Silicon Valley, gets a chance to develop them?